Working Class Beer Reviews. It's coming to you live, bringing it live. I don't know. And it's Earthquake High Gravity Lager. I have been holding on to this for a bit. I've been reticent to pull the trigger. And I know it sounds like I have a bias against this. I've never had this before, and I actually do enjoy some strong high gravity lagers like Hurricane, Steel Reserve, from time to time, Natty Daddy. Um, before I get to rambling, let's go ahead and crack. This is a 24-ounce can. I cannot find this in my town. I have to go a couple counties over, and I'll see it in other places at gas stations. Got my dagger here to vent. I need to get another church key. I gave my Falstaff one to my cousin as a gift. But for my other strong high gravity lagers, I use this here brandy snifter. Kind of open it up a little bit, give it a fair shake before I decide if I like this or not. So we'll let that kind of do its thing. I have in mind what I think it's going to look like or do. There is no website for this. This is Drink for Brewing Company, LaCrosse, Wisconsin, Memphis, Tennessee, and under special agreement, Latrobe, Pennsylvania. As far as I know, those are all city brewing breweries, which are, Latrobe. That's the old Rolling Rock brewery. LaCrosse in Wisconsin. That's probably like an old Schlitz or something. I don't know, brewery. Memphis, Tennessee. I'm guessing that's probably maybe it's an old Schlitz brewery of some sort, but they buy old breweries that are, not in use from companies that have been bought up, and they start brewing their own. Well, they do a lot more contract brewing than anything. I don't think they really make beer of their own, except for something like this, because I don't know who distributes this. I didn't even ask or anything. It says malt liquor on here, which is just a legal term for anything over, for strong beer. And not all states require it, but sometimes they just put it on there. So I actually had to go to Beer Advocate for information on this. ABV is 10%, which it actually says that here on the can. 10% alcohol by volume. They don't give any sort of IBUs or anything like that, and it just says City Brewing Company LLC. It gets a 65%, which is not surprisingly, not surprising. And before we kind of thumb through some of these reviews just for giggles, why don't we go ahead and look at it ourselves? So here we go. Sun's going down. Hope it's not too dark, but it's clear, super clear. It's cold. I made sure that this is as cold as possible. You got some rising bubbles and just a thin head, which on these strong lagers, that's what you're going to get. It's kind of a light copperish, dark gold color. And so I'm hoping this brandy glass will probably help. Let's give it a smell. Just grain and maybe a little like apple, which is odd. If anybody's had this before, as I'm doing this review, in the comments, let me know if you've had it. If anything I'm saying rings true with you, or if it's not your experience, let me know. So I guess let's go for it. Oh yeah, definitely apple. Kind of like green apple. Not like sweet green apple, but just like that. When like you eat a green apple and that feeling you get in your mouth when you taste it. Kind of like just biting into a fresh green apple. So that's interesting. That's not horrible. Not what I was expecting. Not as sweet as I thought it was going to be. I was expecting it to just be candy, cloyingly sweet. Well, What do I think of this? I wish it tasted more like beer. It's it's cold. It's not sticking around on my tongue, so as of right now, I don't dislike it, but I'm not saying I like it either. Um, I don't know if they make any other configurations of this. Um, I've seen this before and just kind of passed it over. There's some other beers like this that I can, like camo beers and Sparks, that I can get here in town that are all about this, like 10%. So this is above Steel Reserve in strength and Hurricane and all those ones I listed earlier. And Genesee Black, if you can find that even. Um, I'm glad I actually got to review that while I was in my area for a brief period of time. Um, Getting a little bit of carbonation, which I'm surprised because typically these aren't real high in carbonation. That's why they don't build up a real big head. You would want to be careful with something this strong. With these strong lagers, if you drink them too fast, they'll definitely go to your head. So be careful, but you can't take too long because you don't want these things to get warm. So I guess, if you're doing a review and you don't feel like drinking the whole thing, pour some, and I can put this in the fridge with maybe like a little Ziploc bag over it to keep it, as fresh as possible, and then finish it later on in the day. Some people may be inclined just to crush the whole can. If that's their choice, I wouldn't recommend it, but yeah, it's not super favorable. The more I'm getting into it, it was only like, it's a little over $2 for this, so it wasn't like a big investment. And I could at least say that I tried it, got it into my catalog. Let's look at. I said something about the reviews. One person here is saying they gave it a 3 out of 5. They said not so bad. One of the best things about this is its mouthfeel, because it's not so thick and heavy going down. So it says like Steel Reserve or Hurricane are, which that's interesting. I guess it is a little wetter than the mouthfeel. The flavor is better than expected. Yes and no. I don't know. Others have said it has a white wine character laced with a generic grainy sort of. Okay, so maybe that's where I'm getting that like green apple when I say it's in, not like candy green apple, but like biting into a green apple. Maybe that's what that white wine. Sorry, a little stuffy there. Is. There are some other off flavors, notes of vinegarness or varnish, maybe. I don't get that. So this guy, he gave it a so-so review. He had positive things to say. On a rough pour, 3 fingers of white, almost decent. Oh, they're talking about the head. And recedes just under 1 centimeter. Yeah, that's what I got. Body is clear, but relatively dark gold with lots of carbonation. I didn't get the whole lot of carbonation, just a few stream bubbles. Overall, despite its obvious flaws, I would definitely call this a pleasant surprise for not completely offending my taste buds. Definitely put it in the freezer before consuming, but also definitely better than the camo malt liquor. So I'll have to look forward to that when I go to review it. It has a difference between the 8.1 and the 12%. I like the 12% better, but wonder what is the truth. So they make a 12% apparently, and they make an 8.1. So I'm wondering if in certain states where they distribute it, they have different strengths. Yeah. This guy said he poured his into an IPA glass. So people that are reviewing it, they're actually properly reviewing it. They're not just, okay, yeah, here's some bad ones. I can't really read this on. Some people are saying mix it with Bloody Mary mix, so make a red beer out of it. Yeah, so I could see doing that, like a red beer or a shandy. I wouldn't cook with it, and I wouldn't bake with it, because it probably has some off-putting flavors when heated up. So yeah, I wouldn't make beer bread out of this. I wouldn't cook with it, like, you know, to deglaze a pan or to cook chili or anything like that. Now you can drink some of this while you're cooking. That's probably fine. I wouldn't drink while baking because you need to have your wits about you when you're baking. You want to be accurate. So yeah, there's actually some legitimate reviews on here. I was kind of surprised. I just figured, you know, usually when it comes to someone says very strong beer, I like to cook with it. Well, shiver me timbers. This is the best cheap beer I've had. It's very smooth with just the right amount of carbonation and flavor. I highly recommend this high gravity lager. That's a 5 out of 5 from Natty Fatty from New York. Yeah, there is some like 1.65. That's awfully accurate. What is this, a pizza review with Dave Portnoy? We don't want to give rookie reviews. So yeah, you know what? It's not the worst thing in the world. You know, and now that I've come to appreciate stronger flavors, if I had this, let's say, 2024, if I'd had this 20 years ago, when I was in my mid-20s, I probably would have hated it. It probably would have tasted too sweet. In my mid-20s, I was just getting back into beer. In my younger years, I had a mishap with beer, and I didn't drink it for a while. I only liked the sweet, like frou-frou drinks there for a bit, like those Jack Daniel's Country Coolers and, you know, stuff like that. But I got tired of being laughed at for drinking those, so someone had helped me get reacclimated into drinking beer, and from there I took off. I was fine. So I just had to get a taste for it again after I lost my taste for it. But even then, I was mainly just into the light beers at first. You know, your standard Corona, Coors, things like that. I remember trying Steel Reserve for the first time one time, and I was like, ugh. So it was way too strong. And the sweetness wasn't what you were expecting. I guess when you're used, because my favorite beers are dry beers. Bud Dry, Michelob Dry has always been my favorite beers. So I like the ones that have the lowest amount of sweetness and the cleanest finish in the world. This is not a clean finish. It's not sticky or anything like that. It's not heavy, which I'm surprised. I figured it's going to be like just malty, heavy, kind of feeling when you drink it. But it does have sweetness to it. Whatever it is, that kind of green apple. Whoa, I'm burping for more than I realized I would. White wine flavored. When they said that, I'm like, but that could be the power of suggestion. I didn't pick that out myself. Well, I was trying to describe the mouthfeel, and when they said white wine, I'm like, yes, that makes sense. That's what I was trying to describe. So, like that pectin type feeling when you eat fresh fruit, especially like apples and pears and things like that. So it must be something. Well, I mean, they make like apple wine and pear wine and cider, hard ciders and stuff like that, which I think I should probably do some hard ciders on this on my little channel here, and I might venture into other things. I still have a good amount. I talked about how I'm like running out of ideas, but I'm not. I just don't want to. I mean, I say that I just received a bunch of gifts from a good friend of mine, Jordan, that did a review with me. We did a stout. I can't remember which stout it was, but him and I did a duo review, and then our wives did a Boulevard review. So Jordan he had some stuff stashed away. He had some home brews, but he doesn't know what all they are. So he's like, why don't you do those and just do, it'll be like a blind taste testing of whatever it is they are. So, and I don't know how old they are, so they could be past their prime for all I know. So that'll be a nice gag reel if I knew how to edit, which I don't, and I don't feel like paying an editor. So if anybody wants to edit my videos for free, yeah, reach out to me, jeepingfoodie@yahoo.com. You can help me out there. But anyway, yeah, it's so-so. I don't I wouldn't discourage anybody from trying it. I wouldn't say that it's high class. I am a bit surprised that I don't hate it, because I kind of I went into this video with a bias. I've seen some of these reviews and you have the right to hate it if you feel like it's garbage and I'm not saying it's the highest of quality or anything like that. It's mid at best, to be fair. So, and I think that the people that brew it, they wouldn't care. They buy it, they sell it because people buy it. That's really what it is. So, if it didn't sell, they wouldn't make it. They wouldn't keep making it. So, apparently somebody's buying this stuff and drinks it on a regular basis. I have a feeling why they drink it, because it seems like it is a streamlined way of getting to where you need to be, or want to be. Yeah, not need, but want to be. Let me clarify that. So anyway, thanks for watching this, guys, and let me know, give me some feedback in the comments of your experience with Earthquake High Gravity Lager. I have no idea when this stuff came out, so if anybody can clarify some of the details on this beer, yeah, feel free to let me know, because I'm genuinely curious, since there's no like website for it. I don't even think there's a website on this can. I mean, how often it says drink responsibly? Yeah, I'm sure people are going to do that with this. Yeah, there's no website for it even, so this is not something that anybody will stand behind. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys later.